Alright, BobalosRex here. And today, I just wanted to do a long video talking about Mists of Pandaria. We're halfway through, a little more, and I wanted to go over my overall thoughts of it. Pretty much all the hot fixes are done. We may see some new stuff come up, and I'll talk about that then, but I want to talk about the broader strokes and what I think about MoP Remix. So, first off, who was this game mode designed for? Alright? Well, in my opinion, and it is an opinion, but from what I've seen, I think it was designed for solo players, collectors, and alt levelers. Kind of the people who were left out of Plunderstorm. Pretty much, if Plunderstorm was your antithesis, this is your best friend. Alright? That's kind of what it went down to. I like Plunderstorm, and I like this. You know, there are players that enjoy a diverse kind of play style because that's what this was at its base. It was a new kind of... Plunderstorm was Fortnite and WoW. This was a section of WoW carved up, you know, in a way. Now, the players that I think would play it, but this mode clearly wasn't catered towards, and Blizzard did try to adjust that, but I think it was people were interested in it were Raiders and Mythic Plusers, and they weren't really catered to, as you can see from the scaling, the gear upgrades. All right, that was a big thing. How quickly alts get up, and then gear upgrades affect that. You know, an alt leveler would just level the alt to 70, be like, that was a fun time. Alright, roll up a warrior, let's go. That's what they'll do. That's fine for them, because they don't need to gear up. But a lot of M pluses will be like, I geared, I'm this, let's get ready to go. Now I want to do this on an alt. It's a pain. It's a pain. It's like playing live, because I don't think the game mode was designed for that kind of player. You know, the raid and stuff that they put in was kind of secondary. All right. Now, for me, as like my main thing, collector, mount collector, and I do like leveling alts, I give it a 9 out of 10. I don't think it was perfect, and I haven't been playing it a lot. I did play it a lot when it first came out, though. But I definitely don't think it was perfect, but it was pretty good for what they did, and that's why I give it a 9. A 10 is a 9 is close, a 10 is perfect, and then an 11 for me would be like they did something great. And I think this is almost perfect in a way. All right. Now, what did I like and what did I dislike? So, I love the accelerated leveling. I like that it's in a small area and you're just able to kind of do what you want. It's super quick. You know, you've seen people doing it in 2 hours through dungeons, but then people are arguing whether, oh, this or that. To me, leveling is about the vibe that you're going for, right? I don't like to speed level. I just like to have fun while I'm leveling and get things while I'm leveling. And this was a great way to level for me. Alright? It was freaking great. You know, I haven't started leveling many alts, but for me, that's going to be the bread and butter of this final leg of the journey. Because we got about 39 days, I think. 40 days. Alright. Next thing. I loved all the cosmetics. This was the biggest thing for me. The sheer amount of cosmetics that they added. New mounts. Ways to get old mounts. All this gear. Easy to get. Now, there were problems. I'll talk about that later. But I loved absolutely love. This is what brings it all the way to 9. The amount of cosmetics is what brings it all the way to 9. Purely out of that. But yeah, look at all this stuff. You know, you've already seen videos, but tons of cosmetics. And then the last thing I really liked is how strong you can get as a solo player. Like, you can start soloing dungeons and raids and all that stuff if you want. You know, it's definitely harder to do it that way. And this is an MMO. It's not designed around solo. Whatever. I like that they empowered solo players, and I hope in Remix 2 they take that going forward. More on that later. I'm going to talk about improvements later. Now, what are the problems? Alright. This one moved to the top of my list. Bags. They really need to have a clear-cut design for bags. Give us a gem bag. Or, you know, in improvements, maybe gems should just be a UI. Many people get an add-on to make a lot of this work just like a UI screen. Maybe they should look into that. I know I like to hoard items. I could have shoved a lot of this in my bank. But this kind of bag clutter, I think we should be getting some items. But I shouldn't feel like, oh, let me hold on to these gems just in case I'll need them. Like, bro, I unlock a gem. We had the Soulbind UI. We have Talent UI. We had Corruption. You had Azurite traits. Put this stuff... I do like the gem system. I just think we should have had a reagent bag. But put this stuff in the gear. In the gear. So I don't gotta deal with it. Or in a UI. Because most people literally do an add-on for it. Someone's gonna chime in and be like, you could just get an add-on. Yeah. What I'm saying is that we shouldn't have to. Alright. The power cosmetic choice that they... This is why I think this was tacked on.
What do you want?
You have to choose between, do I want stronger gear or do I want cool cosmetics? Many people have complained about this. Some people will be like, oh, you gotta weigh this. No. When I'm gearing my character, I want it to be about gearing. When I'm getting fun cosmetics, I want it to be about getting fun cosmetics. Alright? Sometimes you do raids to get gear and cosmetics, but most of the time you're doing old raids for just cosmetics. Alright? You don't have to wait against... Yeah. That's something I think they should reconsider for this kind of mode. Okay? There is argument that it's in the main game, but for this kind of mode, no. People did not like it. And I agree with it. Though I am only speaking for myself, but I've heard that sentiment, you know. But this is my video about it, so. I disliked, again, this is my video, I disliked that there were feats kinda locked behind group content in Remix. Like, you can't solo the Galacrass fight in Mythic. You have to have 2 people to shoot the thing. Alright? But that's just my way. There are some unsoloable parts. You can get as powerful as you want, but there are some unsoloable parts. And to go into that, the stats have a hard cap, right? So the cloak is infinite, but there is a point where these stats right here stop scaling. Speed stops at like 50%, right? Now, it's probably a limitation of the game. But there's never really a way for us to get crazy stats anyways. Why do they have hard caps, right? Because here's what I would want, right? Here's what everyone would want, right? When they look up here and they see a speed stat that they can infinite stack, they're like, yo, I want my speed to be a bazillion. Like, why not, Blizzard? What if demon hunters want to literally tap a button and fly across the screen? You know, why limit that? You know, maybe we have to put a hard limit down the line, but why does the hard limit gotta be 50%? Like, come on, let some people zoom. All right, I've seen the Ghost Wolf video. I've experienced that. Why can't I go that fast in this mode? Okay. Okay, the last few things that I didn't like. Unclear what the goal was. Everyone was like, what's the plan? What do we do? What's the point? You know, everyone was confused. I wasn't personally, but I could see where everyone was coming from. You know, I had been testing the mode. That's why I knew. But if you were just like, MoP Remix, have fun, people were like, wait, what do I do? Do I gear? What do I do? I do this? What do I do? You know? It was buggy. We all know that. And we got many hot fixes, so that's a slight against it. And there's no weapon ensembles. Why don't we have weapon ensembles? Well, there's a lot of gear that can drop as random drop, and people, and me included, think that there should be weapon ensembles, and I agree. I've been seeing tons of people asking for that, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. Weapon ensembles. Because collectors want to get it all. Collectors just want to see that number be 100 out of 100. That's what we want to see. And it's hard. And grinding mobs for 18 plus hours on a 0.2% drop rate or something like that is never fun. Never fun. Alright. And then being unable to transfer a time runner off early, I think they may want to adjust in the future. If they can this time around, that'd be great, but in the future, for sure. You know, sometimes people just want to get the 70 and pull them off and bring them into their main thing. You know, I do kind of understand why Blizzard wanted to keep time runners here. So it kind of incentivizes you once you hit cap to do stuff in here instead of just hop over. Like, now you got tons of geared time runners just carrying people just because they got nothing else to do. So I do wonder if that's one of the reasons. But I definitely think we should be able to move over early. Now, what would I improve in this mode? The cloak should have been more clear from the get-go. I read the words and I knew how it was going to work. But tons and tons and tons of people did not. And some of that's got to go on Blizzard's fault. This should have been clear from the get-go. This should have been account wide. It would just be easier and cooler for everyone. Because then you would start a tune and be like, I am mega mode. You know, people really just wanted to be super duper. You know, and I think we should let them in the next time. If it is going to be account wide, maybe you get less. So it scales a little slower if it's account wide. Maybe. Gear upgrading, if it's brought back, needs to be its own currency. You know, I should be upgrading this with armor points or something. Like, you melt down armor to upgrade your armor, you know? But instead of this one, we complained about currency so much that Blizzard was like, this is your one-stop currency, bronze. And it's like, no. We can handle two. Honor, Valor. We handled that for a long time. Then we got Honor Conquest, and I was like, oh, we know that. And then we had Valor. It's like, okay, we can handle some. We can handle more than one. Alright. The scaling should be fixed early. I don't know why we have consistent scaling issues, but that will be fixed with my overall better fix at the end of the video. I think we should get more solo power. Again, the hard caps on stuff, which I guess it doesn't matter because once you're that powerful, you're blowing up stuff anyways, but the bosses should be able to be soloable. We should have the modern day fixes to the bosses in that regard. And let people get as strong as they want. And more collectibles. I'm for more collectibles. Always good. They brought back Garrosh heirlooms. They did pull a band-aid off a little bit. Some people were mad about these heirlooms coming back, and not many people took them seriously, which to me is a good thing, because I think some removed things should come back, especially if it's in a mode like this that tries to recreate some of the difficulty, some of the same things, right? Even if I could get strong enough to solo it, then instead of me getting a bunch of friends to carry me through to get the Amani Battle Bear, I got strong enough by grinding to go do the Zulamon thing quick enough. I was just using that as an example because it's easy. But yeah, so more collectibles, maybe bring some stuff back, in my opinion. Now, at the end, the biggest way to fix this is for them to have more testing than they did. They only had like 2 days of testing for MoP Remix, and you have more testing, you're gonna have less problems. All right. Now, last little bit. What do I want the next remix to be? It's between Legion and BFA, and I'm gonna make myself pick one. If we get a remix before, like, hyping up Midnight, alright, for hyping up Midnight, I think we should get a remix BFA. Alright? So, Horde can go questing over here, Alliance can go questing over here, we'll get Nazjatar, Mechagon in the ring for remix stuff. I don't know how you add in Nyalotha since those zones. Because they can maybe lock us to these 2 islands, right? Oh, you can just teleport to the 2 zones. They could do that. And then I think using Corruption would make a really cool BFA Time Runner experience. So you just get more corrupted, and you're just shooting out Twilight Devs and tentacles, and you're summoning the Mind Flayer things. Oh my god, I think it'd be so cool. They can even do some... They can give us the Azurite neck again, and have that get turbo buff to counteract the corruption. You know? Like it did with the cloak. You know, and of course they can give us another cloak. But yeah, but I would pick BFA, but I think BFA, Legion, or Shadowlands would be good remix candidates. And that's it. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.